Hey guys, welcome to Always Considered, and I'm your freaking host, Sterling Spencer. Let's do this.
And I'm your host, Julius Spicciani, and we're talking about the surf from May 12th? Was it May 12th? Yesterday?
Surf was sick, dude. I was riding my 12th Dimension Secret Pro model made by Album Surfboards. And I was in the zone, dude. I don't know if you could tell.
I could.
When you were freaking up there droning.
I could tell.
But I was freaking feeling the juice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people were scared.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, you know? It's just kind of my cross to bear.
It is your cross to bear. You're like the small wave specialist. You're like, what did you used to call them? Like crystal drainers or something?
Crystal drain pipes?
Yeah, honestly, these are like 4 times the size of the waves that you can still rip on, though. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I'm like the freaking Laird Hamilton of the Gulf.
Yeah, you are.
But instead of big waves, it's sad, small, windy, jellyfish.
Yeah.
Close out.
But it was beautiful, and I had a great time.
The vibes were good.
They were so good. It was sunny. It wasn't too hot yet. The water's not too hot or too cold. It was like straight up Goldilocks.
Yeah, the Gulf is like a magical pool.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, the Gulf is a magical pool.
And it kind of has waves, so it's like, well, this is good. It's good enough. Yeah, the Gulf it's hard. It's hard on people.
It can be.
It can make or break you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen it break some people.
The summers can break you when you're going on months of no surf and hot west winds.
Yeah, and so you were talking about your kind of routine. I love the idea of there doesn't have to be surf. I feel like part of surfing is a love of the ocean. Do you vibe with that at all?
Oh, yeah. The ocean is like probably my main meditation.
Mm-hmm. Same.
So it's like every morning I have my little routine where I do my yoga, my qigongs, and all my stuff to get my juice going, and then go out to the beach. And if it's up or not, I go into the pier and I'll go for a paddle and just relax and meditate, focus on being happy, being alive.
Yeah.
And the rest of the day is better, you know?
Mm-hmm. It is. You leave with a little bit of a glow.
Yeah, you feel good inside your body, so.
Can you tell me kind of a little bit about your story? I know this could go on forever, but if you could just give us the broad strokes.
Where do you want to start with me? Freak. I was born a long, long time ago. I was born in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised in Pensacola, Gulf Breeze. And my dad was Yancey Spencer III. He sat me down when I was 2. He's like, all right, kid, you're going to have to be a pro surfer, whether you like it or not, or you're out.
Is there anything resembling that actually happened?
In a nutshell, that was chosen before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But my childhood was pretty amazing because, like, I just got to surf with my dad every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because his job was to, like, surf and do surf shop stuff.
Yeah.
So I really, like, peaked when I was a kid because it was, like, my life was just like a surf trip constantly.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of fond memories growing up here surfing, and my childhood was, like, it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I was getting older, around 12, I kind of started realizing, like, I was, like, genetically handcrafted to surf.
Mm-hmm.
Because I played every sport. I was kind of like a super jock. I was kind of that annoying kid that was good at everything. Like, so I like football, soccer, baseball, tennis, basketball. Like, I had everything. And, like, my dad was basically like, you got to pick one.
Mm-hmm. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge.
But I was super good at baseball. I was actually going to be a baseball player. It was like the last game of the year, and we were like about to win, and like the team like cheated somehow. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it crushed me so hard. And we went surfing after, and it was like one of those crystal blue drainer days.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like gorgeous and like seagulls, and I was surfing, and I was like, dude, why am I not doing this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I remember that's when I think I was like 12, and that's when I was like, I'm gonna do this. The first surf contest I did, I was 12 and I won the 20 and older. And my dad was just like freaking out.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, the prophecy shall be fulfilled.
The golden child. He who will be a cult leader.
And what's funny, it was like waist high, and I was so small and fast.
Mm-hmm.
I just smoked all the older guys because they could barely get up.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, Phew.
I am curious. It seems like the arc of your story is that you became a professional surfer. Based on my limited understanding, the toxic, hyper-masculine, A-type personality situation of that world kind of crushed you a little bit.
Well, it crushed me into a freaking diamond, dude.
Yeah. Shine bright.
I mean, that's kind of, I like my comedy kind of kept me sane.
At what point were you like, oh, I'm a funny surfer. I surf and I'm funny.
It wasn't really a thing. It just kind of happened. But I turned pro when I was 16, and I went homeschooled. I left high school, and I became homeschooled, and I just started traveling year round, and I was on the tour just doing contests. I was good at it. I had a lot of energy, but like as time went on, as I started getting older and kind of like knowing who I am, it was just kind of when I was around 19, I surfed my first WCT, which is like with Kelly and Andy Irons and stuff.
Wow.
When I did that contest, it really made me understand that like I'm not these people.
Yeah.
And it was like after the contest, it wasn't like, oh man, I want to keep doing this. It was actually kind of like weird for me, like, oh, like I don't know what to do. Like I don't know if I'm like, and I don't know if I'm like this.
Yeah.
Like these guys are like freaking animals. And I was like, I always felt like a nerd in a jock's body, in this like perfect sculpted body. I always just felt like, I won't say an outcast. I just always felt like, am I the only one seeing this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, you felt like the other.
Freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So like around when I was 22, I started like a secret blog on the internet where I just like do funny stuff. One of my videos went super viral, and viral wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
Like there was no such thing as going viral. So this one video just went bananas. Yeah, so like I was competing and stuff, but I had this secret blog that was kind of just like my, kind of who I was really.
Yeah.
And one of those videos went super viral. It was like I was famous overnight, like a fame that I didn't even know was possible. And I was like, holy crap. Like, what if I just did this all the time? Like, and so I kind of just like tapped into that, and it just took off. It wasn't really like, I never said I was a comedian. It just was organic. And when that started, I felt super inspired, and I was like, this is it. I'm like fully being my authentic self right now. And I'm just flowing because I'm surfing and I'm traveling and I'm being funny, and we're like creating cool movies, and it was just like, man, this is like me. This is it. Like I found it.
Yeah.
But when that first started, I wasn't like when I started doing it, I honestly felt like I was a failure to everyone.
Right.
Because I let go of this world champion dream. So it wasn't really accepted at first. I was almost like just like this, like a crazy person, it felt like, to a lot of people.
Yeah, and it sounds like a lot of your life kind of had led up to competing at that level, and then you're like, this doesn't vibe with who I am. So you're like, well, who am I? I
was like this golden child to do the surf contest stuff, and then when I just like became this just me, it was really hard. Like, I mean, I had people like in town come up and say I let them down.
Jesus Christ. What the hell?
I always had so much pressure on me. Yeah, I was always on this like surfing mission to be famous since I was a child. And then it was the internet and making videos, and like it was just like contests, and And I think I was like 29, and I was like, dude, I want to like feel what it feels like to like just live.
Yeah.
And I literally just stopped everything.
What did that look
And I
like?
started just doing walks.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, whoa, that's like a tree. I'm like, whoa, there's a cloud. Like, never really looked at one.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. And I just kind of started walking around and like started yoga, meditating, and I was like, wow, you could just be happy. You don't have to do anything. It's here.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool experience for years there. Like just being happy without, being famous or trying to be whatever.
Yeah. And would you say the stage of life that you're in now, where you're talking about you just want to live, are you still on that trajectory? Has it been tweaked? Like, where's your current space and where you see yourself going?
Well, right now I kind of had a rebirth after my brain injury. My brain injury was kind of the story of my tale, like Valley of the Shadow of Death. That was one of the most intense things I've ever gone through, and I didn't even know you could go through something like that.
When did that occur? Can you give me the broad strokes there?
2019. Hit my head, and it just rocked my world. Like, for 2 years, I was crippled, could barely get out of bed. Because brain injuries they're not well known. I didn't really get any help.
Right.
Like, because no one really understood it. It's not like cancer. If you get cancer, there's like a protocol, and people just do everything for you.
And people know how to be like, oh, yes, cancer.
They know how to help.
Yeah.
They know what it is. They know how to help. And for me, with this brain injury, it was like, you'd look at me from the outside and you're like, oh, Sterling looks fine. But on the inside, like, I'm trying to like move my toes. Like, so it was a really, really bizarre experience.
Yeah.
Now that I'm walking and surfing and slowly putting the pieces back together, now I'm even more grateful for every little breath I take. And it was weird hitting rock bottom when I didn't do anything to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Like,
rock bottom happened to you.
I wasn't an alcoholic. I didn't do drugs. Like, I did everything right in life. I like was so hardworking. I was so proactive. Like, I was not lazy. And here I am at rock bottom, and I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know I had a brain injury for like a year. Yeah, so now I feel like I'm at the part of the movie where it's like I just want to be able to like surf to my best ability again. So my days are just like focused on that.
I am curious about your routines. So one thing, if this did end up on the long form podcast, is kind of one of the main themes is talking about, one, trauma, two, integration. Like, what are people doing to stay healthy? I'm curious, did a lot of these like healthy self-care rehab type stuff, did any of it predate the brain injury, or are they things where you're like, I can barely survive, I need to make these things so I can be strong?
Before my brain injury, I was just super into breathing and like Wim Hof breathing and meditation and yoga. So I was just kind of on that path. And so when I got the brain injury, it was like, oh, well, it's a good thing I know this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. It was already in your tool belt.
It's like now I'm doing it to recover. Before I was doing it to kind of thrive.
I swear to God, maybe the last thing. I'm curious, what would now Sterling tell past Sterling?
This is a good question. I would tell myself, learn to meditate. Buy a house in Hawaii.
Okay, I like it. Learned it. Honestly, it sounds like if you had a house in Hawaii and you were meditating, it sounds like a pretty good life.
Well, it's like, if you know how to meditate, everything will come. So I don't need to like go on. guys. Time has come. Thank you for watching. Always consider. We'll freaking see you guys next time. Hope you catch some freaking tasty waves. Aloha.